And how's it going, my guys? Welcome back to another video. This is more or less going to be my future ideas for Minecraft update / drops part 7. I initially wanted to more or less, the last video would have been part 7. I initially wanted to record a video on the 6th before my birthday post, but when I got the idea I was late, so not really. So I didn't really have time. Made the birthday post, the video 2 days ago now? Yeah, today is the 10th, right? Let me check. Yeah, today is the 10th of January. I recorded a video on the 8th, the 7th, the 8th, and now on the 10th. Today specifically I want to talk about older mobs that weren't added in the game, past mob vote losers, and biome vote losers specifically, and how I would more or less re-add them to the game. Pretty much the Illusioner is the first mob I'm going to talk about, and the Isolager. Keep in mind, the cold biomes definitely more or less need an update, and pretty much adding the Isolager with its own unique structure in the cold biomes would more or less be really cool. More or less adding specific rooms for the Illusioner in the Woodland Mansion would be really cool as well. Seeing them both added into their own unique niches in the game would be really cool. Potentially even getting some sort of new totem, and also another thing that I would like to see is the crabs, but getting multiple unique crab variants that can spawn in multiple biomes. Essentially getting a pure red crab that spawns in beaches and warm oceans would be really cool. Also getting the original crab that would have spawned in, what was it now? The swamps, that blue and orange crab design that they had. Potentially with the upcoming 26.1 update, we could potentially get penguins and rascals to the game. Keep in mind, let's say with rascals, you more or less, the first time you go really deep into the caves and potentially find the mine shaft is when you have iron gear. So pretty much, let's say when you find the rascal after 3 times, it can give you enchanted iron gear and tools, essentially armor and tools, potentially even giving you tiered shields perhaps, and also various unique items such as potions perhaps, and also potentially unique materials, and even extremely rarely, when your tier system, essentially when you keep finding it more and more often, you can get enchanted rose gold gear, enchanted diamond gear, and potentially even netherite scraps in the most extreme cases. The penguin, keep in mind, could potentially act as sort of like Dolphin's Grace, but for boats. You more or less trap it in a boat, and when you get into the boat moves significantly faster. And Dolphin's Sliding Grace, let's call the effect Dolphin's Sliding Grace, or some shit like that. Sorry, there's something in my eye, and my nose is a bit runny. As you can see, I also got a haircut. Forgot to talk about that. Let's continue. Now we're going to talk about the first mob vote mobs. The Hovering Inferno, the Monster of the Ocean Depths, and the Great Hunger. The Great Hunger, I feel like, could potentially recycle enchantments. You could potentially get a much better version of an enchantment, or completely, if you more or less chuck an enchantment book or a piece of armor or tool that has Curse of Binding or Curse of Vanishing, you could essentially remove it with the Great Hunger. That would be a unique feature unique to it, and it can also be found in multiple biomes, caves, deserts, and there would also be various unique sub-variants. I think the thing you should be using to essentially breed it should potentially be lapis or diamonds, essentially when you get them, or some kind of stony block. The monster of the ocean depths. Now that would honestly be really cool to see the first mobs essentially return to the game. That one would be really cool. To essentially talk about it, I would honestly really like to see it have a sort of feature where it just straight up sticks its long tongue out. You know, that thing where it just opens up and it just straight up grabs you and starts dragging you down. Keep in mind, it will also more or less just straight up pester you if you're a boat over a warm ocean or lukewarm ocean. Yeah, it will just straight up fucking pester your boat until it breaks and then just straight up drag you under. Not to mention, it would also go out of its way to actively attack your Nautilus, or zombie Nautilus, and it would also more or less get fucking straight up gang violence. Straight up dolphins would attack it and essentially perform gang violence on it, is what I'm trying to say. Now the hovering inferno. That one would really be cool, essentially adding a whole unique substructure to the nether fortress, straight up keeping the old fortress, but also adding red nether bricks and potentially warped blue nether bricks would be really cool along with that. Essentially adding it as a unique mini-boss to the nether fortress. Essentially, I think the unique drop is either being a shield or its sort of helmet-like design on its head. Would be really cool to see. What else? Now we get to the biome votes. Yeah, would really love to see more cactus, just large multiple cactuses in the deserts and badlands. Also, the wooded badlands could use its own unique wood type, essentially being desert oak. Would be really cool. What else? Which other biomes was there? Essentially, I think getting more wildlife animals for the existing things, essentially palm trees for the deserts and desert oases. Oasi? What's the fucking plural of the oasis? I don't know. Anyways, what else did I want to talk about? Essentially, also potentially getting. I would honestly like to see the tough golem be added as well. Essentially, with its own armor stand, you can also use it to essentially move around or just click on it to stay in place. I'm pretty sure getting a unique display type of golem would be really cool. Vultures. Now that's what I wanted to talk about. Vultures would be really cool to see as well, along with meerkats in the deserts and vultures in the mesas. Yeah, keep in mind, and the same features that they have, I would honestly like to be implemented. Potentially something new. You could honestly also breed them with rotten flesh, since in real life, vultures are carrion feeders, meaning they feed on the dead, which is honestly a bit gross, I'm gonna be honest, but that's it. It for the vultures. Meerkats, keep in mind, you can also feed them fish, as it was shown, and also ostriches for the savannas. I'm surprised that wasn't added in 1.21 with the armadillos. But, hey. And also biobub trees. I forgot about them. I knew I was forgetting something. Biobub trees. That would honestly be really cool to see these just giant 3x3 trees in the savannas, essentially making them feel more lifeful. Potentially also getting the ostrich as a new mount would be really cool as well. Potentially adding essentially variants to glow squids as well. I'm also going to be talking about former mob vote winners as well. Essentially also potentially adding more unique colors, essentially dye color seeds to the sniffer would be really cool as well. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about? Fuck. Potentially along with that, more new wood types, like I said, baobab, palm trees, and desert oak would be really cool, along with swamp oak and potentially swamp oak and savanna oak as well would be really cool to see. Essentially being the first new wood types, upwards of 5 or 6 new wood types added to the game. Yeah, that would come out to around 5 new wood types, essentially bringing the amount of wood types in the game from 12 to 17. Potentially getting several unique blocks and potentially more food items as well along with that would be really cool. Anyways, that's pretty much more or less about it for this time. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.